Today's episode is presented by LodeStar, the fee experts.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to LodeStar's Lending Leaders. For our summer session, this is going to be the second session where we're talking about the marketing history of LodeStar as we hit our 10-year anniversary this month and kind of look back at some of the things that we did. And now we're at our post-Alayna period, which is going to be really exciting. And where our new website, our new branding is about 2 years old now. So we looked back at some of the potentially cringeworthy things that we did before that. Now we're going to look at the rebrand. Quick update for those following at home. The stock image of the guy who was on our old website that a lot of people had teased us about. We could not find anything fun about that person. Seems to be kind of a generic stock image, and that was probably why we picked it back in the day. So
he's also makes an appearance on the internet as a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think honestly, he's just like some dude that did a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And now he's both a mortgage professional and a lawyer.
And lives in infamy in the LodeStar marketing lore.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll hop into our very exciting part 2, post rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our website right after we went live.
Yeah.
So I think there's a few differences here. One, focus on the big picture. I don't hate it, but I think
you can't just tease me now because you were a part of all of this.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say, taking a step back, this all took way longer than
expected.
We had any idea, right? Like that was
that took so long.
Updating the brand and the logo itself, which it was cool looking at going through the process and looking at all of the different things.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of funny too because we had joked like our on the last website that we had the mortgage industry's guiding light, right, to talk about the LodeStar imagery, and that was, staring at that for 4 years, I just grew to dislike that statement because it just didn't really make sense to me. And part of us, we were trying to take away language that was like a little bit religious in our marketing. And then right before we saw this brand, this last logo, instead of just having the kind of one horizontal bar, it had 2. So it looked like a cross. So we went from guiding light to legitimately having a cross logo.
That was intense.
Which we then stuck out. We definitely, didn't we have like a pentagram at one point?
Yeah, there was one of them that definitely looked a little satanic. We started calling it a cult pass in our marketing. Does this sound like or look like something that could be used in a cult? And if the answer was yes, we did get rid of it.
If the answer was maybe, we got rid of it.
Yeah, we were really aggressive about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think there's a really cool, the color scheme and all of that. Of course, we were always kind of gonna stay with like the blues and the starry night sky. Like that has been really consistent, I think, throughout the years. But it actually came, a lot of our highlight photos, our picture or colors came from photograph that you saw.
Yeah, I was actually down the shore at Stone Harbor with my wife, and we were walking around an art gallery, and I saw kind of like a painting of the boat that had some very vibrant colors like that. And it was as we were trying to figure that out. So that was something that really stood out to me as well.
And it's always kind of cool when you get to tie that in.
Oh, and that reminds me of something too. I'm gonna go run and grab something real
okay
fast. We can keep recording.
Okay, perfect. Well, Jim leaves us. I'm gonna go ahead and I know what he's grabbing. So we do have, this kind of, we make the mortgage process less confusing.
I just found this really exciting, so I wanted to grab it. So this was something I realized. This is my great-grandfather's construction company. So this logo and this branding, which looks a whole lot like our colors, this is 50 years old, and I didn't see this until about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I also found it kind of cool and interesting that I unknowingly picked pretty much the same color scheme as my grandfather did in 1970.
Which is great.
Yeah, I thought that was, it's sharp. They got the little, apparently my dad said he spent forever like making the little logo and like doing the whole thing for this. So this is in my Zoom background and on my wall, but this was one thing that I thought was cool about our color scheme and wanted to share.
Yeah, and it's especially highlighted in our secondary color scheme, which you see throughout the website, which is our pillars of content.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of, as we go through this, a lot of this language, I think, is just we left it too vague.
Yeah.
And we have changed a lot of this. I really like this piece still. Looking at the website, I think this is great.
That was one of our big goals because we were doing a lot of content and we really wanted to highlight that as much as possible and do it in kind of a flexible way.
And these tools, honestly, with the company we have redo our rebrand, we removed this actually after we went live.
And with the rebrand, we actually got these nice
that are matching hoodies here. We also have sweatpants as a company. We did not wear those today.
No. Maybe next t-shirts, we'll see.
Yeah. Every year we tend to get a swag for everyone.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. And I think overall, I think the biggest thing that has changed between this website and the website we have today is the products page. Is we kind of have this very flexible page here. Obviously, we did end up removing the Mortgage Sentinel product line, but we felt like this was a little too vague. So when we go to our new website, one, you have some additional objects here, but the product page is actually about our core product.
I remember that conversation, right? We have one product and it's the data that we provide.
Yeah.
That was our kind of attempt to simplify things. And also I think the fee experts, trust the experts right behind us. Like that's something that we did kind of change. And I think one of the nice things we did right, and the company we worked with said so, what's the name of the company? It was flexible enough that we were able to make those updates and not really have to rejigger everything. So it made it a lot easier.
Yeah, we were able to do a lot of this. Almost all of it we did internally. And I think one, we added the book a demo link up here. I think if anyone's a marketing professional here, I would assume there's maybe a few of them. Any call to action that you can have on your website is definitely beneficial. We've seen all of these get clicked. It feels like a lot, but it really isn't. We also added our support center recently, which has, I think, been a good add. And I think also, we added a lot of integrations. So we went from really just highlighting our Encompass and our Calyx integrations to here we have 9. And now we're up to, let's say, I think we're at 11. We're at 12.
Yeah. We're on the way.
Which is great. And I think, we really have seen these pages be really beneficial to us, to our partners.
Well, I think it's so much more of a resource now. Like I have links bookmarked that I send along. The videos that we have on all of these, right? Every integration has a video with it. In our knowledge center, there's other links that we can send along too. So it's so much more interactive, but it's also like a lot easier to use as we're talking to folks. And it makes you seem so much more put together and professional where you can be like, hey, look at this video on our website.
Yeah. And I think this has been such a great tool. And the community page, I think is the thing that maybe I'm the most proud of is I think we really created that home that we needed. For all of this content that we were creating. And this kind of is how it started is like this drop down here, but deeper thoughts, lending leaders, news and media. And now we have our lovely faces. God, they take the worst thumbnails.
That wasn't too bad.
That one's kind of bad.
That's a better picture of me than they usually take, but yeah. I'll let you figure out that one.
It's fine. And then you have, all of our pillars of content and there's a lot. Yeah. And I think, we've really leveraged this space. I think
we actually have awards now too, that we can brag about. So it's interesting too, how it's like it seems more streamlined and simpler, but there's actually a lot more to talk about than there was 8 years ago or even 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think this has been honestly a great thing.
Yeah.
Our lovely one thing I would like to highlight while we're here is just poor Dave. We like tried to expand it and he's a talker sometimes. And I think I really love the product pages. I think one of the best things we've done for the website with the rebrand. And I think we just learned a lot about ourselves, I think, since we've done the rebrand too.
And I think the way we approach the website is different. Like a lot of
Mhm.
kudos to you and the marketing team of every year there's a website audit. Like
Mhm.
every year we're reviewing it. Every year, we won't have this set up forever, but at the same time, it's never going to get to the point anymore where it's like cringeworthy out of date in the
Mhm.
way that our old website did.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, right, like you're always going to have to eventually redo your website.
Mhm.
I think anyone who thinks, oh, we're not going to have to is incorrect, right? Styles will change, just availability, the foundational coding that our website is built on at some point will become so dated that it's just, we have to update to add new tools and new features and all of that. But I do think, if you have a solid base to stand on, you're looking at 10 years of use easily. And I think that's important, right? Because it is a significant investment that you're making when you redo a website.
At the time, this took us the better part of a year.
Mm-hmm. And since then, I mean, we invest time in our website consistently. And I think that's the biggest and best thing I think we've done for ourselves is continually say, how can we make this better?
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Now we go into summer projects when we don't have to launch a new website and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's great.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is we're doing now is adding more call to actions, adding more resources like, white paper and all of that is definitely a big piece, for us. But I mean, I think the biggest thing that when we first relaunched this that we needed to get away from is just really honing in on our voice and who we are as a company. And I don't think we were there yet when we launched.
No, I think this was late 2021, early 2022, where we kind of got to the we're closing cost experts. It struck me when we were onboarding a large client and we were talking to these folks and they were relying on us for, what do we do about owners' title premiums in this state? And I realized we have expertise. Like we're the experts, we're fee experts. This is all we deal with. And we have deeper experience than just about anyone else. And it's kind of like leaning in and owning that expertise.
Yeah. Because I mean, even just this, which is quote unquote our mission statement, right, is going from the LodeStar makes the mortgage process less confusing to LodeStar is the expert in closing cost data. And
like the same length, but how much more specific is that?
I think this provides the value that we actually needed out of it. And I think for anyone who's watching this and saying, I'm not happy with my website or anything like that, I think there's a lot of things that you can do with an existing framework, even if you're not happy and you can't afford a full rebrand, is really looking at your language, I think is so important.
But that being said, like you can actually do a rebrand and a new website and still not be happy if you don't hone that language and hone that message.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things we did is we worked with a marketing consultant as we were launching our website to do a lot of the language and all of that. And it definitely helped a lot.
I remember that first call after the website launched, how kind of like skewered we got in a way that we needed. Like, they're like, your website doesn't really match what you are and what you want this to be. So.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot there and really discovered, I think, who we are. And I think that's, at the end of the day, if you as a company don't know who you are, it's going to show in everything that you do marketing wise. But yeah, I think overall the rebrand has been, I think, a big success. And I like it. It looks pretty.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the imagery. I like we wanted that kind of star imagery, and I think we did it in a cool way. So
if you ever see one of our booths, it might be the most branded booth you've ever seen. I will say I'm a little aggressive about it.
As I said last podcast, I love swag, so it's always going to.
It's always going to be that way. And I think it's something that I personally pride ourselves on is if we're going to do a booth, we're going to do a booth the right way. It's not just going to be a table or of course there are always situations where you are put in that position. It is just a table or something along those lines. But we try and if we're going to show up, we're going to show up.
We'll slap our logo on everything we can.
Exactly. And also as part of this, we are going to throw a party at MBA Annual. So we're so excited to announce the Independence Block Party at MBA Annual. You can open that John with us here in Philly. It is going to be Sunday night, from 7 to 9.
October 15th.
October 15th. So the Sunday night leading into NBA Annual, we're partnering with some great other vendors, including Lender Toolkit, Lender Price, and Be Smarty, to put on this event for you. And we're really excited about it. I think it should be a lot of fun. It's at Spin Philadelphia. We'll have a registration link on our website, so please go check it out because we'd love to see you in Philly. Any thoughts on our party?
I'm excited to throw a party. I'm nervous. I think as we get closer, it'll be really nervous of do people show up, what it's going to be like. I probably won't be as nervous as you will be throughout the process. So,
I recently had that realization, and I was like, oh no, I was an event planner in a past life, so I need to throw. It's a personal point of pride to me that I need to throw a good party.
But I'm excited. It's just very surreal thinking of, it feels lifetimes ago, 10 years ago, in a 1-bedroom apartment starting this, and now employees and parties and all of these things. It's just good-looking websites, right? So it's just kind of crazy to be at this point. So kind of pinching myself and enjoying all the great work that people like yourself are doing too. Like this has been absolutely fantastic to see when like the company kind of goes beyond yourself, when the brand has its own life, when the people have their own life, and bring in other people and keep that culture going. Like that's probably been the coolest part, just to see it get to that kind of like self-perpetuating stage.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it should be an amazing time.
Yeah.
We will be having a ping pong tournament in case you're interested in that, but there'll also just be a lot of fun events going on. We're going to have other games going on there as well. So it should be really great. We'll be promoting it a ton in the coming weeks. So please feel free to get slightly sick of it. But thank you so much. And thank you again to Jim for inviting me on to the Lending Leaders podcast. And we will actually see you again on September 7th for our season 4 kickoff.
Oh boy, here before we know it.
I know. Season 4 kickoff for our 10-year anniversary season of LodeStar's Lending Leaders. We'll be seeing a little bit of a rebrand on the podcast. We do one every season. So we're really excited. And if there's anyone you'd like to see on the podcast, let us know. Or if you'd like to be on the podcast, let us know.
Well, thank you as a co-host. Thank you for helping with the summer series. This was a lot of fun. I think we embraced the fun a little bit more than in past years. And I'm just really excited for season 4, because speaking of things having its own life now, people actually asking to come on the podcast and talking to us about it and feeling like they know us. Like it's been really cool to see. So thanks to all of you who listen, and we look forward to continuing this for a long time.
Awesome. We'll see you all on September 7th.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to LodeStar's Lending Leaders. Please like, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars anywhere you get your podcast. I'd like to give a special thank you to the LodeStar team involved with the production of this podcast, including Alayna Gardner, Tim Austin, and John Gardner.